10 pounds lighter.
Sweet. You're just tuning in. Poop.
I'm officially zucchini-less.
You ever take that like poop where like you just like feel like all happy and excited after you just like fly off the toilet with a whole bunch of extra energy? Like,
you get. I was going to say you feel like energized. You're like, yeah,
dude. I'm ready to go, dude. I'm ready to fucking knock this out of the park.
I want those kind of poops.
For real. I just feel ashamed after. Damn.
Yeah. feel dirty.
I know, right?
Like I did something wrong.
I gotta get those baby wipes up in my life. Damn.
Yeah.
No, for real. Do not wait until you have kids. Go use some baby wipes. Like, why did no one tell me until I had children that baby wipes were like the most amazing fucking thing?
It is blissful, dude.
You can get those little bidets off Amazon. It's like a little tube you stick next to you and you just shoot yourself in the ass with it. And
no, you get the tushy one, dude. It's like It's a video game. It's like got a little joystick on the side there. And you just hit the button, dude. Yeah.
Get that high score.
It's like an arcade button. Boop, 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 boop. Yep, it shoots little streams up your poop.
Like that scene straight out of Star Wars where you just got to use the Force to find that small little opening, launch those rockets.
Right.
Stay on target. Stay on target.
It's too hot. I can't.
Good. All right.
This is already the best podcast, and we're not recording it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut this part out and like use it as a blooper or something.
So good, so good.
All right. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Record.
Boom.
All right.
Here we go. You guys ready?
Yep.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to That Pixel Life. This is episode 25 for October 4th, 2018, and this week we're tearing into some really big releases, including Forza Horizon 4, Life is Strange 2, Mega Man 11, Dragalia Lost, I hope I pronounced that right, and more. We also have a lot to talk about here, so let's jump right into it. My name is Josh Faulkner. We got Zach Anderson over there. Hi, Zach.
Hello.
We got Shannon Moore, too. Hi, Shannon.
What's a crack-a-lackin'?
Well, okay, and we got you threw my groove off with that corniness, man. And we got the lady of the house there, Elena Grimm, too. Hi, Elena.
How do I top that, Shannon? Why do you always do this to me? Why do you always
say something dumb? I'm sure.
I think I set the bar pretty low, Elena. I'm sorry.
Nah, it's too high for me. I can't get over that. What's up, y'all?
Hi.
The bar's too high at what's crack-a-lackin'.
Yeah. I used to say that when I was like 16 years old. I thought it was pretty rad when I said that.
Top it.
Yeah. Some things never die, dude. Some things never die.
Bringing back the classics. Okay.
Yeah.
Head over to thatpixellife.com if you want more from us and the links that you may be interested in, including following us on Twitter at thatpixellife for show updates. You can subscribe to us on YouTube to watch the unedited recording sessions of these shows each week. You can join us on the Facebook group and chat with us about gaming and the industry on a daily basis. You can also subscribe to us on Patreon if you want to help fund the show and keep it running. And there's links to every podcast platform our show can be found on as well. So check that out if you have the time. Now, this is a really, really, really big release week. There's a lot of stuff coming out. We got Assassin's Creed Odyssey dropping Friday, Super Mario Party's dropping Friday, Forza Horizon 4, Astrobot, and Mega Man 11 all dropped today. Are you guys buying any of these, or have you already bought any of these?
I have two of these.
Okay.
I got Forza 4 through Game Pass.
It's a killer deal, by the way.
Yeah, by the way, like you get Forza 7 and Forza Horizon 4. Like it was one of those things where, yeah, that alone is worth the $60. Like I'm good with that. And then Mega Man 11 also, because I am a big Mega Man fan, and this seems to be a good return to form. So I snagged those.
Cool. Shannon, what about you? You getting any of these?
No, I think I'll wait until the Christmas season probably to pick up Forza. There's just I'm still playing Spider-Man, and I still want to get the Dragon Quest. And if I'm not playing either of those games, I'm playing Dragalia, which we'll get to later. So yeah, I'm gonna hold off right now.
What about you, Elena?
Your girl just got Spider-Man. Give me a break. Like, give me a sec. Yeah. So nah, not any of these. Not this time around. Although Forza's really, really piqued my curiosity. That game looks gorgeous.
Yep, we'll get into that here soon. So no one's getting Assassin's Creed, huh?
Nope.
I mean, the thing about that, and I guess we can address it here. When it came out that this game is like 100-hour experience, I right there I walked. I'm like, no, I can't. I mean, I still haven't beat Origin, and Origin's like a 40-hour experience.
Yeah,
You know, it's
the IGN review. I saw the IGN review on YouTube, and they said it took them like 60 hours to finish it. And reviewers, they usually try to get through it quick so they can review it. I mean, 60 hours. I'm like, I ain't got time for a 60-hour game, man.
well, and Polygon put up the Final Fantasy 13 non-sarcastic line of, it gets really good after 15 hours.
Okay.
No, like, I'm out. I'm sorry. I ain't got 15 hours for the game to get good.
It looks cool, but it looks way too similar to the last game for me. And I haven't even finished that one either. I'm in the same camp you are, and I still own that game, so I might as well just play that if I have the Assassin's Creed itch. So
sure.
I am totally buying Astrobot though. That game might be a big sleeper hit this year. In case any of you don't know what that is, when PlayStation VR released, you guys remember when PS4 came out? They had that Playroom thing that came with it for free, where you had like the mini games that you use the camera for.
Yeah, you had those annoying little robots flying around. And all that
yeah. Those are the Astrobots, and
great.
yeah, I already sold you on it, right? The cool thing is that when PSVR came out, they released a Playroom VR, and it's just a bunch of mini games featuring those same robots. But the cool thing about it is they had a platforming game on there. It was a full-blown platformer in VR, and it was only one stage, and that was it. It was just like a tech demo thing, and it was probably the most impressive thing that I played on PlayStation VR at that time. I mean, of course, Resident Evil 7 was a big highlight for me, but man, I loved that little platformer demo, and people loved it so much that they made a full-blown game out of it, and that's what Astrobot is. And this game's getting like 9s and 10s. It's like the highest rated PS VR game right now. It's got a 90% on Metacritic. So
wow.
It's only $40, so I'm definitely picking that up on Friday when I get paid. So that was another game I didn't plan on buying, but hey, whatever. Fucking YOLO, live once, right?
Hashtag YOLO. Yes.
Yeah, corny shit. Also, one thing I want to address from last week, Shannon had some mic issues going into the second half of the episode, and there was like a lot of pops and weird stuff. We had a couple people that came to us and told us about it. We were very much aware of it. Unfortunately, it's one of those things that once it was recorded, we could try our best to edit it out, but it was just kind of the damage was done, so we apologize.
I just assumed it was weird feedback from the metal stuck in his eyes.
yeah. That's a good.
Hey guys, my computer is 9 years old. Like, if you guys want to help me out and like send me spare computer parts, and I can put together my own fantabulous PC, that's great. If not, suck it. No, I'm trying my best to mitigate it and put band-aids on this computer and to get it to limp along until I can buy a new one. So thank you guys for bearing with us, and I'm trying to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Hey man, Christmas is coming. Ho ho ho. Hey.
Ask that Santa Claus for a new MacBook or something, man.
Dude, Santa's ain't got that deep of pockets. Come on. I'll be lucky if I get a pair of socks.
You're like, Santa lives in Hayward, homie. Like, Santa ain't rolling around with MacBooks.
Right? Yeah, wait until your kids are 13 and then you're gonna be feeling different. It's gonna be like Santa's pocket's real deep. This kid wants a $500 something or other. We'll see.
Yep. I haven't hit that yet, but
rough.
Oof. Also, we wanted to announce real quick before we get started that we are going to try something new here, and hopefully this will be like an annual thing that we can do, but we're going to have a TPL Halloween challenge. So what we're going to do is we're going to dedicate an entire episode towards the end of October, closer to Halloween, to this. What we're going to do is we're each going to select a Halloween, like, horror-related game that we've never played before. We're each going to pick one, and we're going to play those games throughout the month of October, and then we're all going to come together on this special episode. We're going to dedicate that episode to basically reviewing these games and talking about our experience, and we're going to kind of share how scary they are and if we recommend people play them during Halloween and everything. And so what we'll do is we'll take our industry buzz section and we'll just dedicate that to just Halloween horror game topics and stuff, fun stuff to talk about for Halloween. And then we'll use our weekly consultation to review those games that we picked that we're going to play through October. And we're actually going to get our community involved in this as well. And we hope that people will join us and play along. So we'll post this in our Facebook group as soon as this episode goes live. And people in the community can choose a game that they haven't played either that's a horror game, and they can play along with us. They can give their thoughts and opinions on the game that they played, and then we can share their thoughts and opinions on the show. Thought it'd be fun just to get everyone involved. So we're going to start that starting now in October. So Zach, what game are you picking, man?
I'm picking Layers of Fear. It's a game Robbie used to talk about very, very, very high regard, and it was it's something I've purchased on a sale like a long time ago. I've always been meaning to start it, and this is the perfect reason to actually get through this game. So I'm actually really excited about it.
Yeah, I think it's only like 4 hours long.
Yeah, Robbie was saying I think it's like 4 to 5, but yeah, it's one of those things. I'm excited to get through it. It's one thing I've been wanting to play for a while, and this is just the perfect reason to do it. So
yeah, you kind of stole one of mine because I have that game too. I got it like in a humble bundle for PC, and I've never played it either. So.
Yeah, I forget how. I might have been a Games with Gold or something, but I got it at some point.
Yep.
Yeah. So
cool. Lena, how about you?
Well, I'm kind of on the fence because Resident Evil 7 is a game that I've played but haven't beat, and I kind of, and I, you know, man, people are gonna shit on me for this, but I kind of didn't get it. I didn't enjoy it as much as most people, so I put it down a lot sooner than most.
Don't play that if you didn't like it.
Well, no, it's not that I didn't like it. I don't think I gave it an authentic chance. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't really immerse myself in the experience. So I think what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to try to get scared. I'm not going to be a try-hard, like, badass and be like, oh, I'm not scared. This isn't scary. You know what I mean? I'm talking lights off. I'm talking, like, silence. I'm talking, you know, no nothing. I'm going to try to really get scared here. Because I was also thinking, if I get this on PS4, I could stream it so you guys could watch. And I thought that would be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because I was thinking either that or Amnesia because I've never played that, but I wouldn't be able to stream that because I don't have my PC rig set up yet. So we'll see.
All right, cool. Well, let us know what you officially choose, and good luck. I hope you get through Resident Evil 7 because that game is fantastic. But yeah, I'm going to choose Outlast 2 because again, that's another game that I bought and I have not played and I've always wanted to. So it's been sitting there in my Steam library. So I'm going to go ahead and take that one. And one of the reasons why I haven't played it yet is because apparently it's very frustrating to play because of how many like times you get caught, you know, like you have to sneak around, a lot of stealth and whatnot, and it can be kind of annoying. But apparently now they have a mode where they tone that stuff down a lot so you can just kind of enjoy the ride. And I might play that. I might try it the normal way first, and if it starts pissing me off, I'll knock it down to the other
for sure.
And we'll go with that. Now, Shannon, you're the resident pansy here.
Yeah, your boy's a scaredy cat over here.
Yeah. So, what kind of childish game are you going to pick?
I don't know. I was thinking Luigi's Mansion, but
Perfect.
That'd be a good one. That's good.
I was gonna say, dude, like I've never played it, so I mean, like it would be something.
So, which one?
I don't know. Well, I know there's plenty of them to pick from. I'd probably choose something that's on like the 3DS if it is there. If there's something,
they have both on the 3D. Actually, the first one's coming out I think this month on the 3DS, but the second one is the best. I highly recommend you pick that one out.
Okay, then I think that's the one I'm probably going to go with.
Okay.
I can't really think of anything else.
Dude, Shannon, you were talking just last week about metal in your eyes, but you're a scaredy cat when it comes to games. What is up with you?
I have this weird thing where like I don't like to pay to be scared. If I'm going to be scared about something, like I want it to be something that like, you know, I don't want to, you know, it's got to occur like naturally, right?
I kind of get that.
You know, sure. Like, I mean, for my money, like I want to enjoy it. Like, and to me, just being scared I don't enjoy being scared.
Dude,
like you don't do.
Oh, I love it.
I was gonna say you don't do like horror movies either, right? Like
no, like any of that stuff. Like I'm out. Like it's just not my thing.
I have to ask, have you ever played PT?
No.
No, PT is so good.
Fuck you up, man.
PT, please,
dude. Look, okay, look. So like I played Outlast right when it was free on the for the PlayStation 4. I got 15 minutes in before I had a panic attack and just turned it on.
Maybe PT's not for him.
I would love to see you play Resident Evil 7 in VR.
Oh,
I have PT on my PlayStation 4. Next time you're over, like it could be a fully lit room, people all around. Like it'd be one of my football Sundays. There'll be 20 people.
I'll hold his hand while you.
Yeah, I want you to play like just to see how long.
Dude, I have a story about PT.
You want to wreck my shit? That's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna sit there. I'm gonna be like I'm gonna be over in a corner after that, like just sweating profusely.
That's the point, Brad. That's the point.
I was gonna say, dude. I was gonna say we should stream it. It'll be disastrously funny for anybody but me.
It's fun to be scared if you know you're safe. For me personally, I like being scared. PT for me was one of the most memorable scary experiences I had ever playing a game. Like that's definitely something I'll save for a later date. But PT's fun, man. It's fun to be scared.
I kind of agree with you. I kind of agree with you on that. For me, I was one of those people, like when I was a teenager, I worked at Blockbuster Video, and I rented damn near every horror movie. Like I've seen a just stupid amount of horror movies in my life, and so nothing really like shocks me that much anymore, or nothing really like isn't that upsetting anymore to be like, it's, I don't really find horror. I find horror movies pretty boring usually now, but and games too for that matter. But PT was one of those experiences where I was like, oh, they got something here. Like this is actually pretty special. Just the way they build the tension, the way the thing with PT is, and it's the same thing with the tension that's in Resident Evil 7 also. It's all in the subtlety of the moment. Like there's these little things that happen that all culminate into big moments, but like if you pay attention you can see them coming, and they do it exceptionally well. It's just they
really do that same technique with the movie Hereditary.
Oh god, highly recommend. No, you shouldn't watch Hereditary. Hereditary's so messed up. Oh man,
I just watched it for the first time like last week, and yeah, just how they just hide little tiny things in there. And if you're paying attention, you're like, what the fuck? And then all at the end, it kind of all makes sense. Yeah, that was pretty.
The mom on the ceiling scene though, like
yeah,
dude, jeez.
Like, no, dude, that closing scene at the end, I'm just like, what? Yeah,
the piano wire, like, oh god,
yeah, woo, man, that was a nutty flick.
Those get me, man. Any psychological thriller, and like I'm just like, oh, my brain is worse off now. How do I do this? The thing with Resident Evil 7, man, and the reason I think I'll enjoy it more this time around was because I was riding the anger train with PT. I heard about PT's announcement and that it wasn't going to be a game, and then Resident Evil comes about, and I'm like, dude, this is just a PT ripoff, and I was like salty Sally about that for a while, So now that that's died down, I think I can enjoy it. So I really should give it an authentic shot and like really try to, immerse myself in it.
Yeah, cool. I hope you like. I love that game. It's one of my favorites in the series. Like,
easily. Especially for how much I enjoyed the 4 and 5 and some of the other ones. I should really give it an actual genuine shot. Like really sit down with it. So we'll see how it goes. I'm kind of curious.
Sweet. All right, so let's move on to our industry buzz section now. Not a whole lot going on this week, but there's a couple things I think are worth talking about here. First off, Insomniac's PS4 exclusive Spider-Man game that came out a few weeks ago, that's already shattered records. Again, it's sold 3.3 million copies in just 3 days. It dethroned God of War's 3.1 million copies sold in the same time frame. Now it's the fastest selling PS4 exclusive title right now. Do you guys see this coming with this? Is this a surprise to you? And also, do you guys think that this game will continue to sell strong throughout the holidays? Could it take like the top sales spot this holiday season?
Yes. I was not surprised. I mean, just if you talk to anybody about a game that was coming up this year that they wanted to play, like the first words out of most people's mouths were Spider-Man. And so, to see the numbers come out, I wasn't surprised. Insomniac, they did a great job with what was it? The other one. What's the one that
Ratchet & Clank?
Infamous. No, they did a great job with Infamous. Like I mean, like that's the whole reason why I was intrigued.
That was Sucker Punch.
Game. Or was it? Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
To be fair, I make that same mistake all the time.
Yeah, they do seem like they're similar studios. Yeah,
exactly.
But Insomniac made Ratchet and Clank, and
all right.
They made Sunset Overdrive too, which was pretty cool.
But I mean, it's just an amazing game. Like it's just fun to play. I know Zach, you don't like swinging around the cities, but like, oh my god, dude, like that is my favorite thing to do. Like just to
ditto, man, ditto.
Like, just to get all the to barrel roll once you get that like perk to like do like the little stunts and stuff like that when you're to build up your focus when you're swinging through the city, and just to whip around buildings and chase cars. I mean, like all that stuff is fun. Like the Trickster's stuff is a little annoying, or not Trickster, Taskmaster. His stuff is a little annoying, but I'm still having a ball playing it. I mean, even though I'm just doing the story missions now.
I gotta say, man, I was kind of surprised I didn't see it dethroning God of War, but then I really kind of like stepped back and put some thought into it, and I was like, okay, why did Spider-Man do better than God of War? And there's actually a lot of factors. The first thing that popped into my mind was the kid factor. Parents aren't buying this game. Parents aren't buying God of War for their kids as likely as parents are buying Spider-Man for their kids. I mean, come on.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I was looking at the release dates. So God of War was April and Spider-Man was September. And I hear that people are more likely to spend their money in the second half of the year. So the closer you get to the holiday season, more people are like susceptible to being a little looser with their cash. So that makes a little bit more sense to me. And then God of War in the States does well, but does God of War do well overseas? Like I was thinking about Japan and like, the United Kingdom. Yeah,
No.
I didn't think about that. I didn't
probably
think
the
about that at all.
UK. They'll probably do good in the UK, but I highly doubt that game sold well in Japan.
Nah, and apparently for Spider-Man, there were, people were apparently in Japan having trouble even finding copies, for the first couple of days. So that made a lot of sense to me. And then another thing is just the recognizability for Spider-Man. Like he's one of the most recognizable superheroes, or just characters on the planet. And he's been around since the 60s. And when you think about God of War, we got Kronos. I want to make like a mythology joke about how like Ares and Mars, the Greek and Roman God of War, have been around since like the BC days. But realistically, God of War, the series, has only been around since 2005. So if you think about all that, it actually makes a lot of sense. But I was still really surprised.
Well, to make a counter on that, though, like to me, it seems like Spider-Man hysteria kind of died off once Sam Raimi's third movie kind of bombed. Well, it didn't bomb like in sales, but like critically it bombed, and a lot of people didn't like that movie. And it seems like Spider-Man wasn't as big after that happened. Even with Homecoming, like a lot of people liked it and it did well, but I never felt the like hype for that movie really. And I thought the game would suffer from that too. Like it would sell okay, but not like gangbusters like it's doing right now, and that surprised me actually.
Well, I think it's twofold though. It's easily the biggest title for the casual fan that's out there right now.
It's not tied to any other universe either. It's kind of its own universe too, which helps.
Exactly. And nerds like us know who God of War is or Tomb Raider or whatever, but like to Elena's point, anyone on the street knows who Spider-Man is. Yeah. And when the buzz came out that it was a great game and that it hit really well, and these systems are cheap, dude. Like you can get a PS4 for cheap. It's one of those things like
used.
Yeah. So it becomes a real quick decision to like, let's get it for the kid's birthday, or let's grab it for the house, or I've been waiting for a Blu-ray player anyway, so just grab one. It becomes a real easy purchase at that point, and I think it absolutely is going to hold serve throughout the holiday season, because what else is coming? That's a great exclusive.
Yep.
And
that's what I was thinking.
And I think Sony needs to take a look at something that's very important here that you're all overlooking. There's a big difference between God of War and Spider-Man, and the biggest difference that I think sold the extra 2 million copies for Spider-Man is the fact that you can jump in Spider-Man. Can't.
Oh wow!
Can't jump.
I do like to jump. What can I say?
I thought you were going to mention that selfie cam, man, because I swear to God that's becoming like an increasingly common marketing ploy. Like they do that to keep like the whole selfie thing in Spider-Man is just so it's fresh on your feed. It's in your Twitter. It's in your Facebook. You're putting that game out there for people to see it, and I really think that's something that they're doing that's making it that much more popular. And also that
photo mode is like in almost every game now.
That's what I'm saying. And I was like thinking to myself, why is that a thing? And then I see all these selfies popping up on my Twitter feed, and I'm like, Spider-Man. But then we
got comic book mode and
filters and all that.
Yeah, it's actually kind of cool, man. They're definitely trying to get that on your feed, on your social media. And then we have the DLC that's being released incrementally. That's totally going to keep this game popular. You know what I mean? What's going to happen, what I see it doing is like fizzling out in October and November, and then picking up again in the holiday season around December. And then sales are just going to skyrocket again. But to Zach's point, he's absolutely right. Like Spider-Man got top sales for PS4 this year. It's October. What other big titles do we have, set to release before January? We've got Last of Us. Oh yeah, we do got Red Dead Redemption. Yeah,
I'd say that's the last major game. There's some big ones coming out, but I think that's the one that's going to really threaten the other ones this year. Is Red Dead.
I didn't think about that because I was thinking about Last of Us 2 and Death Stranding, but those are in 2019, so that's not that's not for this year. So
yeah,
I'm saying Death Stranding is going to be 2020.
Yeah, same here. That's PS5 launch title or something. I think.
Speaking of Mega Man, it'll be 20XX is when Destiny comes up.
You're not wrong.
So following this, Marvel also announced that they have plans on investing more in games after the success of Spider-Man. I'm assuming this means that they probably are going to start some sort of Marvel gaming universe now, like they did with the movies. this happens, which I'm assuming it will, what Marvel properties would you guys like to see get sort of the Spider-Man treatment with like a AAA studio?
Oh, dude, you could do so many crazy things with
I
Doctor
know.
Strange.
Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
What did you say, Zach?
I was just when he said he was going to do so many crazy things, I thought he was going to stop there, and I was like, I know there's so many different characters you could go with, like so many different places. But yeah, Doctor Strange is a great one.
He don't get enough
think-
love either. Like that'd be a good opportunity to get him like more fans as well.
I mean, they already tried to do an Arkham style beat 'em up with Captain America that actually was a kind of decent game. Like, you know, I could see him going back to the well with that one. You know, I mean, yeah, give me the whole Maximum Destruction game sequel that I've always wanted. And
Dude, give me a flight simulator with Iron Man where you can like
All
just
right.
stop and like just pop all these rockets out of your shoulders and just blow everything on the screen up. Yes, please.
I just want a re-release of the 1992 X-Men game, like the arcade game. I just want it.
You can get that on Android.
What?
Yeah.
Bye, guy.
Yeah, I remember I had it on my Android phone.
I want a Captain Marvel space shooter.
Yeah, there you go.
I want a Gambit romantic comedy video game.
No. If you want that crap, go back and watch the 90s like cartoon that was on Fox every Saturday morning. You got enough of that shit with Rogue and him. Oh my god, dude.
I remember that. Yeah.
Gouge my eyeballs out every time.
To be fair, as someone that read the Jim Lee X-Men run religiously in the 90s, that shit was all in the comics. So it's not like that came out of nowhere, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
What with that romance though?
that's what I'm saying. The romance was all up in those comics.
I want a romantic graphic novel between Gambit and between Rogue. That's what I want.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Oh, dude.
It's called Twilight.
It's called. Oh, he's got red eyes. They've all got red eyes. It's the same thing.
They're all moody. They're all angsty. They can never touch each other. It's unrequited love. Oh god.
Da, 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 da. We should get a Venom game to redeem the movie.
Oh yeah. Oh, too soon. Hasn't even come out yet. And you're already bagging on it.
I'm actually with Zach when he said a Captain America game. That's probably my favorite character out of this Marvel universe, and I would love a really awesome Captain America game.
I mean,
that's what I wanted to do next.
So there was the Deadpool game. I think it came out in like 2013. Activision did it, and I love that game. I thought it was really.
I never played it.
It was good. It was good, dirty fun. It was a good game, and I'd like to see it this time around with like Domino and Cable.
I just thought of it. We need a good Punisher game. Like a really good Punisher game.
Yeah,
like a gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need a Punisher game.
Hell yeah!
I love that one they released on PS2 and Xbox. The one that had like all the traps that you would put people in and stuff. It was like a third person, sort of like a Max Payne kind of third person shooter. I thought that game was really fun.
I could see that.
I'd love a new version of that. That'd be great.
I was thinking because the only Marvel comic book I'm reading right now is Miss Marvel, the one with Kamala Khan, and I would love to see a game like that. I don't know how they'd make it, all encompassing, but just some part of me wants a Kamala Khan video game because she's so fucking cool.
You could do like a Metal Gear Solid style game with Nightcrawler, and you could get like that whole like fanatical Metal Gear Solid group. Robbie, into your Marvel universe, like just suck them all in.
The stealth babies, get them in there. Yeah, I was thinking a Beast video game would translate pretty well because I was thinking about Overwatch and how Winston, the monkey character, is so based on Beast. You know what I mean? And I was like, that'd be a good video game, man. I play that. And then I was thinking of the Logan movie that came out, but I always joke that they've already made The Last of Us, so we're fine. Like,
Yeah, so I mean, they got a lot to choose from there, and I'm really curious to see what they go with next. And I hope Marvel does do this because that would be really awesome if we had like a really killer series of Marvel games that the quality went into the games as they do the movies. So, also, finally, for our last story here, this is something that we skipped on last week that we didn't talk about, so we'll go ahead and throw this in here as well. Sony has recently announced a little miniature PlayStation console, sort of like what Nintendo was doing with the NES and the SNES. This will be hitting store shelves in December. It's going to become preloaded with 20 titles, including Final Fantasy VII, Tekken 3, Jumping Flash, a couple more in there that they announced as well. I think they only announced like 5 out of the 20, so we don't know what the rest of the games are. Retails at $99. You guys see this thing being successful as Nintendo's, or is this thing gonna kind of fall on its face?
no.
I think the mini console thing is kind of already dead.
Yeah.
And
You do see them flooded in stores now.
Yeah, and man, it's one of those things. Like everyone's got their rose-colored glasses when it comes to PlayStation 1, guys, but like people are going to spend $100 and realize those games weren't that good and look real bad now, like real bad. Yeah, like Jumping Flash and Tekken 3 look like shit. Like they were fun games. I enjoyed them. They're awful. Like graphically, they're hideous.
Control-wise, too, it's going to be rough.
Yeah, and people are sitting there going like, no, but I remember it and I played it for hours and I had such good time. Yeah, that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, you were 7. Stop.
Like, dude, like the graphics on your app that you just downloaded the fucking game on your phone is better than this. Like, you know, it's come on. Like, and to Josh's point, Josh, in our Slack, Josh brought up a point where it was, and it's a super valid one, that if they load it with the old school JRPGs that were all popular in that time, then there's value because that's a lot of gameplay and there are classic JRPGs in that run. Like
a lot of the old school ones still play pretty well.
Yeah. And because they're not, you know, but I mean, I don't want to play Battle Arena Toshinden. I don't.
Yeah.
That's like ass, you know, like it's, I mean, even games I love, games I love like Chrono Cross still don't play that great anymore. You know, and I love that game, but I kind of don't want to play Chrono Cross again. You know what I mean? This
kind of broke my heart there a little bit, man.
When's the last time you played Chrono Cross?
About a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe. I played it on my Vita.
Okay, yeah, I did that also, and when they released it, and I spent about 2 hours with it and realized, man, I don't like it. It's so difficult to navigate this menu.
That's not an unpopular opinion. A lot of people thought that game was severely disappointing, but I thought it was great.
I loved it so much when it first came out. I played through it like 3 times. I got every damn character. The music is one of the best soundtracks in video games. It killed me to go back. It was one of those you can't go home again moments for me.
Okay.
It was like I really should have left this game in my memories because it was a lot better there than you know. But
that's the saddest thing. Those are games that should just be remastered, in my opinion. And I feel like they do better if they were just kind of tweaked a little bit. You know?
I kind of agree with that. Like some of these games that they've remade, like the Crash Bandicoot one, like I would much rather play that than I would going back to the old Crash Bandicoot games.
Yeah.
And I still get the same fuzzy feelings I got playing the old Crash Bandicoot game. So it's like let's do that instead. You know, that's a better idea.
And you know, the reason is because the remastered version that you're playing is the version you remember. Like you don't remember it looking that awful. You know, and so it can be kind of bad, but still it's kind of modern and it's clean and it runs smooth and it gets a good frame rate. And, you know, it's all the modern things you're used to, but you remember it being that way.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Until you actually go back and play the old one, you're like, there's times when this drops to 10 fucking frames a second. What am I doing with my life?
That's funny, Zach. That's super true. You're absolutely right. It's like you trick your brain. These remasters kind of trick your brain into like becoming. It's the version that you remember. That's actually brilliant. Now I want remasters even more, especially like, for real though, because like this is not going to work out. This is not going to translate well. This is basically SNES games have aged well, and like indie devs are still going for that 16 and 32-bit like retro style look. But when's the last time you saw PS1 Lara Croft triangle titties? Like there's no. When's the last time you saw that?
In Shadow of the Tomb Raider, she's got a skin with triangle titties.
No, she really.
Yeah, you can play triangle titty Laura in that game.
Oh my God, God is good. That is so funny. I can't wait to see that. Okay, all right. So I get to eat my words, but like seriously, when you think about it, like it's late 16-bit versus early 32-bit, and we all know which type of game has aged better. I mean, playing my SNES, you know, the classic, is as frustrated as I am about that because of the whole SNES online thing, which I'll get to later. It's like, damn, man, this is still really fun to play. This is still really aesthetically pleasing, and outside of the slowness and the actual gameplay itself, like the games still look good in my opinion. Now, PS1 game does not look good. Like Jumping Flash, I love that game, but it does not look good. Like I want to play it though.
I'm actually shocked they put Jumping Flash on there. I didn't think that game was that popular. I actually still own my big long box copy.
Oh, look at you, the big box.
Yeah,
so many memories. Yep. So many memories, man.
I still got that one. But so I'm assuming you guys aren't buying one of these.
No.
No, and also, what are the other 15 games? You gave me 5 of the 15 games, or 5 of the 20 games. No, seriously, like, you really want me to spend? You want me to pre-order something for $100 and I don't know what I'm buying? No, sorry. You know, not to be a jerk, but like, I knew what I was buying with the SNES Classic. I knew what I was getting myself into. I knew what I was spending such and such dollars on. You know, like.
Yeah,
that's just so it sums up the whole experience so perfectly. Like, you're not buying one. No, what are the other 15 games? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, Nintendo dropped them all when they announced theirs. They dropped every title is going to be on it when they announced it. Like, why are they not? Are they still trying to figure shit out? Like, is this thing rushed?
Yeah, that's another thing I'm thinking about too. So, like, a lot of game companies are doing this. I don't know if you guys remember the Neo Geo Mini that was released earlier this summer in July.
Yep.
Well, that had 40 games on it, but it was like King of Fighters 1994 through 2003 and like a buttload of other. You know, and we're getting the same game, but like sequels or annual iterations, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I am interested in seeing. It's been an interesting process seeing how each individual company has dealt with this differently in regards to not only the games they've released, but also how they've marketed it. Because, like, for example, the Neo Geo Mini, the hardware was actually playable itself, and I thought that was a really cool aesthetic design that, you know, is appealing, and is kind of a selling point that made it unique compared to the other ones, but. You know, it didn't come with the controllers included, and they were an extra $25, which was absurd. And then I'm reading things for the PlayStation, you know, Mini and all this jazz about how it doesn't come with an AC adapter. But I'm sitting here like, look, man, you can include. This is just a personal thing. If you're not going to include something, just exclude the HDMI cable and give me the AC. Give me the adapter, please. Like, I want that. Like, I paid for that.
Yeah,
I need.
Everyone's got a million HDMI cables by now.
Yeah, that's my opinion on the matter. So when I saw that it requires a USB AC adapter, but it doesn't come with a USB AC adapter, I'm like, look, I know I have one lying around my house, but it's the principle of the matter, Sony, and give me it. Stop and give me it now, okay? Like, I was really upset. And then you think about the backwards compatibility that Xbox has going on right now, and look, at the end of the day, Sony's exclusives are so good, but this and crossplay for Xbox really has an advantage over Sony, in my opinion. And like, this is another reason why I'm just shaking my head at Sony. Like, it just seems tone deaf. Like,
well, they fixed the crossplay thing.
Too little, too late, kind of thing.
At least for one game that we know of.
Yeah, I still feel how I feel about the whole thing, but you know, it's been an interesting process. Like, you know, with the whole like arcade one-up cabinets, we talked about that on an episode, and just seeing all this happen, it's cool, but just like Zach said, I have a feeling it's going to fizzle out if it hasn't already. So I don't know what Sony's doing. I'm not buying this.
I don't know if I want one or not. I think it really depends on the games. If they really tuck in a lot of cool RPGs in there, I might be sold. But as of right now, I have no plans to buy one, but that might change. I don't know. I'm a whore, so we'll see what happens. Anyways,
give me my Dreamcast, please.
Yeah, I would buy that. I would totally. Those games still look good to me. I mean, I was playing Shenmue, you know, on my Xbox One, and that game still was. I mean, it's not, you know, gorgeous, but it's still, you know, it still does the trick for me. So I don't know. Anyways, let's move on to our weekly consultation. We got a lot of games to cover here, so let's get to that now. First one we're going to talk about is Forza Horizon 4. Now, Zach, you've been playing this one, right?
Yes, I have.
All right, I've been playing it too. So I'm one of the silly, stupid people who bought the Ultimate Edition. So I could play the game 4 days early. But the cool thing is I got it for $70 instead of $100. So I got a pretty great deal on it. So I paid $10 more than retail for it. And I got all the extra bonus goodies and all that stuff. I got the season pass and the car pass and all these other bonus things and stuff. And I got a steelbook case and all that stuff. So it's kind of cool. But I'm such a big fan of Forza Horizon 3 that to me, I was willing to pay the extra money just to be able to play it early and get all the extra bells and whistles because I know I'll play that stuff. But so I haven't played as much as this as I wanted to because I started playing another game and I wanted to wrap that up before we started recording. But I'm full blown invested into this game now. But I dropped about 3 or 4 hours into it so far. Zach, how much have you played?
I've got about an hour and a half into it. I just started playing it today.
Okay, gotcha.
I love the intro sequence where they go through the seasons. I thought that was a super sweet way to do it. And to be fair, it feels a lot like Forza Horizon. Like it's a Forza Horizon game. You know, it drives very similar. the sense of speed is unrivaled for these type of games that Forza provides. It's but the game, man, it is stunning to look at. Like it is just, and you know, I'm running only 30 frames per second. Josh is running in 60, right?
Yes.
So I can imagine it only looks even better at 60.
It's not that, because I've played both modes. It's not that it looks better in 60 frames per second. It's more that it just controls, like the game's more responsive in 60 frames per second. That's the reason why, because I would prefer to play it in 4K. The game still plays great in 30 frames. You know, I played the entirety of Forza Horizon 3 that way. So that's not a big deal at all. It still feels great. But the fact that I can get the 60 frames per second and the game just feels more responsive is the way to go for me. So I went with that mode.
I feel like the game gets the hooks out real fast though. Like it gets you in races very quickly. It gets you earning credits very quickly. It gets you getting cars very quickly. You know, I played an hour and a half. I think I've got 4 different cars. You know,
what'd you pick as the first car?
The Dodge Charger.
I got the Audi. That was the one I picked.
I did 69 Dodge Charger. That's one of my all-time favorite cars. So
yep, cool.
But yeah, also that's the bad car. Don't pick that car because man, you'll come in last in like every race for the first like 5
learn
races.
The hard way.
Yeah, like that is not a car that's meant for like little sprint races that they throw you in right away. So
yeah, so I will say that so far from what I've played, I think this is better than Forza Horizon 3, but I still prefer the Australia setting of Forza Horizon 3 than I do to this one. This one's technically better and it's better looking, but I don't know, something about cruising through those beaches in Australia was super cool to me. And you know, you get some of that here too, but so far like none of it has been as exciting to me as driving around the whole Australian outback and stuff like that. But a lot of people will probably disagree with me on that. But that's the only thing. Like, and I'm not saying I'm disappointed by it at all because this game is gorgeous in like this European countryside and stuff. But I do kind of miss Australia. But like you said, this game is very similar to Forza Horizon 3. Similar types of races, setups. They even have the little experience boards that you run into that you can find, and you can still pay $3 to have them all pop up on your map, which I'll probably fucking do because I did it with the last one too. And you know, it's set up pretty much the same. What the major difference is here is that they really beefed up the online infrastructure with this thing, because now it's sort of like an MMO. You can play in a session with like 50, 60 other players that are roaming around the whole map with you that you can interact with. There's even like emojis and crap that you can like send each other as you're like passing by random people. It's more connected than the last game was. And one thing I loved about Forza Horizon 3 is that you could co-op the races in that game. So if you had friends, you could invite them in the session with you. And if you play a campaign race, they will literally pluck out every single AI car and place in your buddies. And then you could play these actual like single player missions, but all the AI cars are now controlled by real people that are your friends. They do that here too, but they also do it with random people. So if you want to, you can continue to play with AI cars if you want, especially if you're not very good at racing games and you feel like you're more comfortable that way. Or you can have every race that you play completely strip out all the AI cars and you're playing with real people. And that is extremely cool. And that's one thing I love about this game. And they continue that and they beef it up even more to extreme. And you can choose when you start a mission whether or not you want to actually have people pulled into it, or if you just want to play the AI cars, or just friends only, however you want to do it, which I really appreciate as well.
So now, is this something like to go back to Forza Horizon 3? Is this like you're still manning the festival, you're still creating the festivals, or are you just a participant in it now?
No, yeah, you're still managing festivals, but they don't make as big of a deal as them as this one does. So it's not like
when the game starts, you're just a participant.
Yeah,
you can introduce like, oh, this is a former champion and she'll help you out and blah, blah, blah. You know, that's the start of the game, is you're just showing up to race.
Yeah, but the last game was like the big goal was to unlock the next festival around the map, you know, and then you would visit the festival in order to like do activities and like buy new cars and stuff. That's not really in this game. Like the festival is just kind of one big encompassing thing. And then now you can buy property and stuff around the map that acts as home bases that you can use as warping points and stuff. And you can also hit the signboards that you can use as fast travels as well. And then you can like go to like a store and you can buy cars and stuff that way too. It's like it's not focusing on multiple festivals as much from what I've noticed. Maybe I just haven't got far enough for that stuff yet, but I've noticed that's one thing too. Another big thing is the seasons. And
the seasons, it's so good.
Yeah, this is a bigger deal than you would think. It's not just a scenery thing. Like every season plays differently. So if you hit winter, like your car that you were roaming down the streets with, winning races, no problem, that thing's probably going to suck in the snow. So you might have to, tweak the car a bit in order to cater for icy roads and snowy roads, or to get a whole different car that can handle those conditions better.
And to that point, I think it was an extremely smart design move on their part to get you out of the car that you're going to play the game. Like Forza 3, I played with 3 cars the entire game, and it's like I had, by the end of the game, 80 to pick from. I picked 3 cars, and it's one of those things like I could see already where, I'm going to have winter cars and spring cars. And, like these are cars that you're going to cycle through and tweak, and you're going to change the tires on. You're going to dive into all these systems because you have to, where 3, you never really did. You could get it tuned up how you wanted it, and you just left it and it was fine. And now it's like, no. You, like to Josh's point, you have to change the tires. You've got to switch your suspension. You've got to, if you want to keep using that car, you got to work on it to make it work. And
And if that's daunting to you, like, don't worry about it, because this game has so many things in place to help players understand stuff that it makes it easy. I mean, there's still the strong difficulty stuff in here as well, to where you can tailor the driving to the sort of the play style of the player. So if you don't like these driving sims and you suck at them, they will put so many driving assists on the controls that it'll make it feel more like an arcade racer for you. Or you can kind of hit middle ground, where it's kind of in between of the two. That's how I play it. That's
how I play too.
Yeah, I played Forza Horizon 3 with the easy shit on, because I suck at racing sims. And that's one of the reasons why I never even touched Forza Horizon before I got that game. And this time around, I actually kept it on the medium one, and I'm doing really well because I kind of understand how it works more. So I'm winning most, if not all, of my races still, even on the medium, kind of in between sim and arcade style. And even when you're tweaking your cars and everything, like, they go in lengthy explanations of what everything you're going to do and how it's going to affect your car. I think you can even auto tune the cars as well if you want to. Like, they have so many things in place, so many systems to help people, that you don't have to be a gearhead in order to get into this game at all. And another point that I want to make too, and this is what the last game did, and they do it here as well. You play a race in the campaign, you don't have to win. You do not have to win first place every fight. That's one thing that always just drove me insane about racing games. Like, if you don't win first place, fuck you. You got to play the race again, until you get first place. And sometimes the AI on the cars would be so difficult, it's hard to do. This game, you don't have to. Like, they play it as not every race you're going to participate in, you're going to win, just like real life. So if you come in third place, you just get less experience and less, what's it called, renown or whatever that is that you earn. That helps you progress through the game. You just get less of it. But there's so much shit in this game to do that it doesn't matter. You can just go off and do something else to make up for whatever loss you got, for whatever you placed in that last race. And that's the thing that I cherish about this game so much, is that I just feel like I'm not being forced to win everything. I can just sit back and enjoy the race and not be pressured the whole time.
Well, it's like, it's an RPG mechanic in a lot of ways. Like, no matter what you're doing, you're always building XP, and that has a currency, and you can spend it, and it's very rewarding in that regard. Like, no matter what you do, you're always doing something, and it's very. It just makes you feel good as a player. Like, okay, I came in 5th this race, but I still got X, Y, and Z, and I still can build towards this car I'm trying to get, or this custom I need to make. There's always something you can build towards.
Yeah, they're always throwing things at you in this game too. Like, they have the little spinning wheels, like the lottery machine thing that it does. And like now that you one thing they added to this game is you can customize your character. You create a character, and every single one of them looks like a douchebag when you first start.
Yep.
And but soon after, you actually get like different articles of clothing and things that you can equip on the character, and they show your character more in this game, like with pre-race sequences, post-race sequences, and they even have the sort of Fortnite dance emotes and stuff like they have in there, where you can like do a little break dance if you win, you know, to like show off. They have all that stuff too, and you can buy property now, and then you can like go into like a clothing store, and you can, you know, equip your character with stuff, because this avatar represents you in online races and stuff as well. So they have that in there too, and it's just they're always constantly rewarding you with stuff. And you hit that spinner, and I mean, you could get a new car, you can get clothing options, you can get extra experience, you can get all kinds of stuff, and you're just always being rewarded with shit. And it makes you want to keep progressing through it. And that's something that I just don't get in a racing game other than these Forza Horizon games.
And it's got a little bit of that Civilization just one more turn thing, where it's like you'll be done and but there's a race like right there. Oh, but there's like
let me go hit that one real quick
right over there, and it's like that just leads into one other thing that's just right there, and next thing you know, it's, you know, your whole damn night's gone. It's like I can see. I haven't done that yet, but I can see it. It's just like Forza Horizon 3 in that regard, where it's just one more thing, just one more thing, just one more thing.
Zach's like, I haven't done it yet, but I'm looking forward to doing it.
Very much. I am very much looking forward to it. Yes.
That's awesome.
So one thing is this is an aspect that I loved about the last game too, and it's very much the same here, is that just how much they integrate music into this thing. I mean, the whole Forza Horizon thing is all a big giant music festival that you're participating in, and just racing just happens to be a part of it or something. Why I don't know, but it's part of this culture of this big giant concert series or festival or whatever they throw off. And even though there's less of them here, that the like essence of like all of the music that it injects into it is still very much a part of this game. And I really like the soundtrack to this game. They did cut off the Groove Music things as that service went bye, so you can't like import your own music, but they do have like a mixer thing where you can kind of it's like a substitute for it.
Yeah, I was hoping they'd have like a Spotify integration or something.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Yeah, but I really like the in-game soundtrack. There's a lot of artists here that I like. I mean, a lot of the radio stations are really, really cool. There's some really good music here. And so another one of those games that I just like to sit back. I like to race. I like to jam out to the music, and I'm collecting all kinds of shit, and it gets me, it hooks in me. And I just, when I first loaded this game up, I sat for probably 4 hours straight playing it. And that was the only time I played it because of other things I was playing. But like it was one of those things where it was like midnight and I was tired and I was like fighting to fall asleep, you know, but I was still wanting to keep racing. And I've never had a racing game have that effect on me at all. Like, I'm not a racing game guy. I never have been. But these games, for some reason, just do it for me. And Forza Motorsport doesn't. I don't like those games. It's just these Forza Horizon ones. So to that regard, yes, this game is very similar to 3, but I think they just really beef it up. They make it a lot better. I still prefer Australia, but for the most part, I do agree with most of what I'm reading that this game is a better game. And I can really see myself playing this all throughout the rest of the year, going into next year as well. I'm really, really digging this game.
And my Christmas list grows ever longer.
Yep.
Damn.
Just get you that Game Pass.
Yeah, the Game Pass, man. $10 a month. You know, if you want to play for a month and get your fill and forget about it, you know, it's only going to cost you $10.
You know, you're not wrong. Yeah, maybe I'll give that a shot.
That's how I'm living that life. You know?
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, but see, I wanted to support the developers as well, because Playground Games they're the ones that are making the next Fable game, and I everything they do has been excellent, and they're sort of a studio that, you know, is kind of not getting a lot of praise other than these Forza Horizon games. I feel like it wasn't until 3 that they really hit the spotlight. And I think they're a great developer, and I think they deserve the money for actually making someone like me love a racing game. So I was happy to throw the money at them. So I went ahead and bought a copy of it. But yeah, I highly recommend this game. Even if you're not a racing game fan, please check it out. It's the only game that's exclusive to Xbox this year I think is worth a damn playing, to be honest with you.
Valid. Totally valid. Yes.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to Mega Man 11, Zach. I want to hear about this.
Okay, so this is a game I've been really looking forward to for a while. the Mega Man franchise is something that I fell in love with as a kid with Mega Man 2. Like, that was the first one I ever got, was Mega Man 2. And sadly, it was also the best Mega Man game ever made. So I was hooked right from the start. But the relaunch they've made with 9 and 10 were great. They were good. Return to form, old school style 8-bit Mega Man games. The problem with both of them is they made them ridiculously hard. Like, they were just impossible games to play. Like, I'm a Mega Man fan and ended up not enjoying either one of them just because they were just too damn hard. They were
worse than the classic ones.
Yeah. Well, they were more on par with like Mega Man 1, which makes me want to kill people because it's so frustrating.
Yeah, that game's rough.
Yeah. But it's, like, you could tell, like, oh, we're taking it back. We're taking it all the way back to that build style. So here it is. Ha ha ha. And it's like, no, that's not fun. Like, yeah, okay, it was kind of neat, but that's not fun. It's not what they weren't fun to play. But but everything I'm reading about Mega Man 11 leads me to believe that this is going to be a little different. And I'm really into like the 2.5D style where, there's a lot happening in animations in the background and the, just the whole refresh of the property, and got through the first 2. I'm going just around the boss ring. I don't know. I'm purposely not looking to see what the right order is of guys or anything like that, because it's the same deal. You beat the boss, you get the weapon, and the weapon helps you against other bosses. And if you find the right order, the game gets a lot easier, because certain bosses' weapons affect other bosses.
Does it save your progress?
Yes.
Okay, because that's one thing that always pissed me off is I'd get through like 2 or 3 of them and then die and lose all my lives, and then now I got to start from the beginning again.
Well, then they give you the weird code. Remember, like, does that start in 3 where you could have like
anyways?
But anyway, yeah. The so I started with Blockman, and very normal style Mega Man levels, left to right, and you're blowing up stuff. But there's a new mechanic called the double gear mechanic, and essentially what that does, in the game they say it makes you go really fast, but in reality it slows the world down. So you know, and that has a certain meter just like everything else that you're using to fill, and then blah blah blah. But so you can use the double gear system to slow the world down, and it helps you with certain enemies have like a circle around them except for one spot, so you can use that to slow time, so you can give your buster a shot through there. It does have your standard Mega Man slide. You've got the what's the dog's name? Rush. Thank you. Yeah, Rush. You can use as a springboard. You've got the buster shot. It has you can pump it up so it turns into a big shot. But then you hit the boss level, and it's a really cool moment where halfway through the boss level, the boss transforms into this like giant version with the obviously glowing, blinking, weak spot that you need to hit. But it's a very cool moment because I just hadn't experienced a thing like that in a Mega Man game. And it was a neat kind of modernization of the franchise that I thought was a long time coming. But also the world is totally beatable. I died maybe twice in the whole thing, just trying to feel it out and figuring out where to go and whatnot. Apparently there's an insane timing jump base level with the balloon guy or whatever his name is, but that wasn't the case in this one. So they're not all that way. I mean, I would stand to reason that there's probably 1 or 2 levels that'll make you want to pull your hair out, but it wasn't every single level. And I thought the weapon edition was really, because I went through Fuse Man next, and the Blockman thing, it's a cool ability. 4 huge blocks show up above, characters' HUDs, and they all fall to the ground and do damage as they go along. And they're good like room clearers. Like it helps you clean out some space when characters get a little too heavy. I felt like the jumping mechanics felt really good. Sliding felt great. The buster shot was a good add-on. And the game it's a really cool looking experience. It kind of like what we were talking about earlier. It invokes all of that former glory, but everything is just pretty and polished and runs smooth and consistent. The world effects are really cool. It's one of those things I'm really looking forward to digging into it. I'm assuming if it holds form, I'll probably beat it in another 3 hours or so. Like it doesn't feel like it's a long game at all.
Okay.
But it's easily the best one of these Mega Man games that has come along in a long time. Like,
wow, what are you playing it on? Switch?
Switch, yeah.
How's the controls?
I haven't had a problem with them. Usually, like these Switch games, I was a little concerned to get it on Switch, to be honest, just because the directional, not having a proper D-pad has been a problem. But it seems to be balanced pretty well for this. Like I haven't had any timing issues with moving with the stick left or right. I haven't tried it with the Pro Pad yet, but because I've only been able to play it remote or portably. Yeah, handheld. Ran fine, handheld, no issues, no frame rate issues or anything like that. It's been pretty solid. It's got a real dumb storyline, like really stupid.
But this to be expected.
Yeah, you get to see what Dr. Wily and Dr. Light looked like as like 20-year-old dudes, and that's pretty fun. But
the question no one ever asked.
Yeah. In case you were ever wondering what they look like in their robot college, like they But I'm really looking forward to finishing it. I'm really enjoying it. If it's one of those things, if you're kind of on the fence because of past Mega Man games, like I totally get it, and maybe wait for a sale. But if you're a Mega Man fan on any level, I think it's an absolute must buy. Like it's rock solid so far.
So even if you're not a Mega Man fan, you'd recommend it?
If you like 2D platformers, sure. Yeah, it's a really good 2D platformer so far. But I'd probably wait for a sale. Like I don't think it's a game. It's not like you have to run out and buy this right now. But it's real pretty and it controls really well. And so far the weapons have been really cool. So I don't know.
Okay.
Don't think I didn't hear that rock solid, right in there. I know what you were doing there.
Yeah. You picking up what I'm putting down?
Yeah, very nice, man. I like that.
Thank
subtle.
Thank
Not
bad. All right, so let's move on to Life is Strange 2. Because I picked this up, just the first episode, because I was kind of skeptical about this one, especially after I played Captain Spirit, which didn't really grab me. I like the story of it, but the gameplay was kind of a step backwards from the original Life is Strange game. So I was afraid that was sort of an indication of what this game was going to be. But since you can buy on PC, you can buy the first episode for $8, and then if you want to buy the rest of the season discounted, you can. So I'm like, okay, I'll give the first episode a shot for $8, and if I'm feeling it, great, I'll buy the rest of it. If not, then I'll just walk away and just forget about it. So I didn't even play Before the Storm, Life is Strange Before the Storm. I have it. I just never got around to playing it, and I think one of the reasons why is because it's based off Chloe, and Chloe's not really the reason why I liked Life is Strange. She's not really one of my favorite characters in that game, so I skipped that on that one. So I can't really compare this one to that, but the original Life is Strange, I was a huge fan of that game. I know Elena kind of poo-pooed on it last week, but we're definitely in different sides of the spectrum with that game. But I loved it. It was one of my favorite games that year, and I was hoping for a repeat of that success with this one. So I started playing the game, kind of had some low expectations, and I was really surprised the direction they took in this game. It was not something that I was expecting at all. I knew it was about these two brothers. I knew there was some sort of supernatural thing tucked in there in some shape or form, but that's all I really knew about it. The fact that they took this story, and one of the things I loved about Life is Strange is how relatable those characters were. We're in high school. We all dealt with that shit,
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like, we were in their shoes at some point, even though none of us could turn time backwards or any of that bullshit, or we weren't, slinging guns with drug dealers and crap like Chloe was. But,
you weren't.
Yeah. So the California high schools, man, I don't know. Back here in Ohio, it's pretty tame, but no, but so just that setting and some of the trials and tribulations they went through were sort of relatable, and that's one of the reasons why I love that game so much. This game, it's also very relatable, but in a completely different way. And that's why this game surprised me, is because they use the Life is Strange formula and they capture you and hold your attention, but they do it in a completely different way the first game does. And that's one of the best things you can ask for a sequel. You know, they're not repeating the same shit. They're using what made the first one, the magic of the first one, to give you a different experience that gives you, you know, it does it for you in a different way. So the surprising thing about this game is that it's very Trump era plight that's going on here. So you play as these two boys. One of them, the one that you play as, his name's Sean, and he's 16 years old, and his little brother's named Daniel, and I don't know what his age is. I don't think the game said, but he's probably like around 10 years old. And you live in Seattle, which that's where Max was from in the first game. She moved from Seattle to Arcadia Bay. So there's a small connection there. But you live in Seattle, and you live with your dad. Your dad is a single parent, and all three of you are Hispanic. So you have a next door neighbor who's like super racist, and he picks on your little brother all the time and stuff. And there's a moment in the game where you go outside because this guy's spouting racist shit at your brother, and you go stand up for your brother and you get in a fight with him. All of a sudden something happens. The cops get called. The dad runs outside to try to figure out what's going on, why the cops are out there, and why their kids are out there with this whole situation happening. Cop freaks out, shoots and kills the dad right in front of his kids.
Oh, shit.
So not only is this game dealing with, you know, police brutality and racism and xenophobia and stuff like that, like we see today in modern America, but they do it in a way to where it's in the eyes of these kids. And after this happens, all of a sudden, the little brother emits some crazy shock wave of energy or something out of him and kills the cop in the process. So these kids are on the run. They didn't do anything wrong, but they're on the run because the police think that they killed the police officer, even though this cop just murdered their dad right in front of them. And so you're out on the run, out in the woods, and the older brother, they both blacked out when it happened. So the older brother knew what happened. He knows his dad's dead, but the little brother doesn't. He hasn't told him. So the little brother just thinks they're out just camping, having fun, you know? And while the older brother has to take the opportunity to process this whole thing, and he has to step up and basically be the adult at 16 years old. And that's where this story starts. So the entire season has, as I take it, is these two kids trying to survive on their own, outrunning the cops, and they're trying to get to Mexico because their dad is from Mexico. Apparently, he owns this plot of land in Mexico, and he always talks fondly of this place in Mexico where he grew up, and that's where they want to go because they feel like they're no longer welcome in America. So you're traveling around, and you're trying to get to Mexico. You run into all these different characters along the way. Some of them are good. Some of them are bad. I don't want to spoil any more of the game because all that I just said happens in the beginning of the game. So that's kind of what sets up the story for you. But everything that happens to you, there's some really crazy stuff that happens here. A lot of it's dealing with like racist people and stuff like that, and xenophobia. And yeah, you get yourself put in some pretty sticky situations, and then you meet some really awesome people along the way that are trying to help these kids and stuff. And that's what launches this whole story from the first episode. I was not expecting all that out of this at all. That's kind of surprising to me. And it's a really interesting direction that they took it. And I really enjoyed this. It's definitely, it definitely tugs at the heartstrings a lot, especially how it ends. They set itself up to where this game's just going to be like a big road trip sort of thing where they're just trying to get to their destination, and they have to meet people along the way to help them and, you know, get into these adventures and stuff. And apparently the little brother has some sort of supernatural ability to where he gets angry, or if he gets upset or something, you know, happens to him, he can just like shoot out this shockwave of energy and like destroy shit. So that's where the supernatural element comes in. But unlike Life is Strange 1, that's not a game mechanic in this game. It just happens in the story. So far, I don't know if it's going to end up being one in a future episode, but as of right now, it's not a game mechanic like it was in the first game, but there is still that supernatural element. There is references to the first game in here. There's one that's really cool that I don't want to spoil because I want people to come across it, but there is definitely a connection to the first game. And apparently there's going to be a connection to the Captain Spirit thing as well, too, but it just hasn't came into the picture yet. Otherwise, if you are a fan of Life is Strange, I highly recommend you check this out. I'm enjoying this just as much as I did the first game, and I think it has a shitload of potential. And I'm really happy with the direction they took it, and I liked it a lot. So,
cool.
If you're interested, check it out. All right. Shannon, Elena, I know you two have been playing this Dragalia Lost, this new Nintendo mobile game.
Damn straight.
Yeah, Shannon, you really screwed me over last week when you were like, yeah, you guys should download this. And I was like, I'm on it. And next thing you know, it was Tuesday, and I'm still playing it. I swear to God, man, I put so many hours on this game. It's ridiculous.
It's fun, though.
I'm just going to throw this out here before you guys get into this. I played it for maybe 20 minutes, and it did nothing for me. So, so I'll let you guys take the stage. And what's this game about? How is it?
Well, I mean, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna tell you, take the floor, Alina. Go for it.
You're sweet. Thank you, sir. Well, I mean, him and I are probably gonna say a lot of the same things. It's an action RPG. It's got social elements. One of my favorite things is that it includes it's some co-op mission battles, which I felt were pretty intuitive and like really user friendly. That's one thing that kind of stood out for me compared to other games, because let's not lie, this is a cookie cutter game, and you can find a lot of games like this on the market. But there's a lot of fine tuning and a lot of little nuances here, and a lot of polish, I think is what I want to call it, that makes this game really rewarding. One of the core game mechanics gives me like Breath of Fire vibes, which I really like. You're able to turn into a dragon, which is, both part of like they have this gaseous style acquisition system, where you rely on RNG for good drops. You can get 3 stars, 4 stars, and 5 stars, all that jazz. But I like that it's similar to Fire Emblem Heroes, which is, released by Nintendo as well. And, there's a lot to like about it, but I think Shannon could tell you a little bit more.
Well, can I just jump in here real quick and just say that I mean, because you both have played this way more than me.
Same.
But man, I love the way they did the combat in this game. Every fight I've had in the game feels fun. Elena has a perfect word. It feels intuitive. You automatically know what to do, even if you haven't played the game. It's great. The pace of it is very fun. And it just has a level of polish that you don't see. I totally agree with you, Elena, on that. Where it does feel like a Nintendo level product, even though it's a phone game. If that makes sense.
No, I completely agree with you.
My problem with it is like, I agree. The combat's kind of cool. How you can kind of tap and then slide to dodge and all that stuff. It's pretty rad. And it looks the part. My problem is that once I got out of like the tutorial missions or whatever, and I got to the menu, like in between missions, like there was so much shit barfed in there. Like I had no idea. Well, what is all this shit? What are all these windows explaining all this stuff to me? And like, there's this shit everywhere. I just got overwhelmed. I'm like, you know what? I don't care. And I haven't touched the game since.
So that's something I don't think Shannon and I suffer from. And Shannon, you can, cut me off here, but that seems to be about the norm for menu systems, right? Am I wrong? Yeah, right?
In a free to play setting, that is your typical menu. So, I mean, if you've played any of these games, you're gonna be well within. I mean, this is gonna be like old hat to you. Like you're gonna be like, okay, I know where I have to go. This is my village. This is my main screen for missions and dailies, and here's my marketplace. So, I mean, after a while, it becomes like almost second nature if you play enough of these games on the mobile phones. I'm just gonna say, this game in the first 5 days it was out raked in $3 million. So I think it was 3 million, or it was somewhere in that neighborhood.
I think you're right. Yeah.
It was 3.5. That's pretty solid.
I mean, that's pretty good for a game that's free to play. I mean, there's definitely people out there that are spending that money.
Also free to play, and I had never heard of it until you said the words Dragalia Lost.
Yeah, I
literally had never heard of it.
I had never heard of it either until he mentioned it. I'm like, oh, it's Nintendo. Okay, download it automatically.
Yep, that's how it was for me too. I saw the art and I was like, okay, this is actually kind of sick. And
we're 4 individuals that I think are fairly tapped into video games and video game releases. And for 3 out of 4 of us to have never even heard of this thing, for it to catch on that quick and make that amount of money, I felt was pretty impressive.
Yeah, so let me just say thank you / I hate you, Shannon, because I can't put this game down. I'm at work and I'm like, oh, there's an autoplay button.
Yeah, dude, that shit is awesome. Like I was complaining about that last week because I hadn't played it yet, and I was like, they better have that autoplay function.
Oh, I remember, yeah.
And then the minute I saw that, I was like, sweet Jesus, this is awesome. I'm gonna be playing the mess out of this game. So, and it doesn't feel. I mean, you have to do a little bit of grinding. It's a free to play game, but I mean, I've never felt that like. There are some games I have on my phone that they're so stingy with the extra current, with all the different currencies.
Yeah,
and that makes me not want to play the game. But this one, I mean, the carrot on the stick is there. Those little the worm stones or whatever they're called. Yeah. I mean, like you need 1,500 to do a batch summon, and you're guaranteed like 4 star or above like character. So, I mean, it makes sense to me. I mean, like you can usually rake up 1,500 of those little gems in like maybe an hour, like throughout the day. Like if you're focusing on your missions. So, I mean, like I've already gotten a fair share of pretty healthy, strong characters. I mean, it's just a fun game to go through. It's a good time waster when I'm not, playing Pokemon Go. So, yeah, I love it. I like it. It's consumed most of my free time to play video games this week.
And we learned something this week because of this game. We learned that Josh is a monster that listens to music when he plays phone games. Like who does?
And
that?
we learned that Zach is somebody who weirdly doesn't. Like who the hell doesn't listen to music when they play video games? Like is it just because mobile? Like
the music from the game. Like, why would I? You play games on your phone with the sound on?
Because it's made for the. It's part of the experience, bro. Like,
no.
You don't part of the experience.
You live in silence on mobile phones. Like, don't even waste my time.
No, I completely agree with you guys. Like 90% of the time, like I don't play many games on my phone. I think most mobile games are shit. I just don't. I gotta have my controller and. Like I just don't really care for mobile games. Exception a few. I really like Monument Valley. That game was pretty rad. But I just, most of the time I don't play the sound on either. I play a lot of Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. I still can't explain why I still play that game, but I still do for some reason. I play that game every day. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. There's something cathartic about tapping on shit and giving fruit to little animals and, and leveling up and I don't know. I can't explain it, but I normally don't play with the sound on, but this particular instance, since it was the first time launching the game and everything, I put my headphones in and I launched the game and my God, the J-pop is just pouring through at every seam in this game.
It's lovely.
and I was just like, man, I can't take this shit no more. And I had to mute that stuff, man.
I'm the only one here.
I have not heard 1 second of audio from this game.
Oh my God. Okay, so out of the four of us, I'm the only person who not religiously, but usually listens to the music when playing mobile games. Is that right?
The weird one now?
Wow. All right, I need your help out here. Somebody rally to my assistance. I need some help. All right.
The tables have been flipped.
But yeah, man, I'm about to flip some tables right now. No, man, the music's
got to flip some tables and put some J-pop in your ears.
Yeah, man, some Kairi Piamu or whatever. I swear to God, she did a song, man. She's like a really popular idol in Japan right now. She did that Pon. So
you could have just been having a stroke and saying
like
so.
You might as well be speaking Japanese right now. I don't know what you're saying.
You know what? Okay, so I want to know, anybody out there who has played this, do you think the intro song for the menu system is from that Kairi Piamu girl? Because it genuinely sounds like it, and I did some research, and I cannot figure out whether or not it's her, and I want to know. And also, like, I'm not the only one out there who listens to music while they're playing mobile games, man. Maybe it's because I play a lot of mobile games because I'm getting really heated. I'm like hella defensive about this. But like,
now, do you play with headphones or no?
Nah, not typically. No.
Oh, so you're one of those jerks that just blast your stupid video game music to everybody else who doesn't want to hear it.
I'm not doing it in public. I swear, I'm not that guy. I do a lot of my mobile gaming in my bed at home, which doesn't sound normal because I should be playing the Switch. But
just sitting there on the bar train, blasting fucking Kiari, whatever her name is. Just
yeah, that's exactly it, right? And that's pretty spot on too. And it's funny too because this this is a collab between Nintendo and Cygames, and Cygames did Idolmaster, which is a Japanese rhythm game based around pop idols and like talent agencies and stuff. They're also, I learned this today, they're also working on Uma Musume Pretty Derby, which is reminiscent to a game I used to play when I was younger. It's like a horse racing derby game at Dave & Buster's, but it's moe like anime girls racing. So thanks for that. I can't wait to play that game when it comes out. But
Wait, I used to play that racing game with you at Dave & Buster.
Yeah, man. Just imagine it being moe waifus, like for real.
I'm all good with that, but you know,
and with a really cutesy soundtrack, so I'm totally looking forward to it. But yeah, the thing about this game is I was surprised to hear that it ranked 4th for Nintendo games in regards to like the sales made in the first 5 days, you know, like top grossing and all that. And then I realized that the games that ahead of it are Fire Emblem Heroes, which did 13 mil in the first 5 days, Super Mario Run, which did 8.3, which surprised me. I thought Mario would have come ahead of Fire Emblem, but gacha.
Because that game sucked.
Well, so yeah, Super Mario Run really didn't do it for me. And then way behind was Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. And I think it's because this was at 4.6 million in the first 5 days. And I think it's because the in-game currency, you're not encouraged to buy it the same way you were for Fire Emblem Heroes for like drops and stuff. You know what I mean? Like I could see people spending money. So it's cool to see that this game grossed that much money despite not having any name recognition. Like we were just talking about how we didn't know what it was at all last week. And now we've all played it. So 3.5 mil is not bad considering, but I do think that it's because it's got that Nintendo name and that Nintendo polish, you know? I'm going to keep playing it. I can't put it down. And it sucks too, because like I can feel myself losing interest and then it'll just drag me back in with like a really good pull. Like I got a 5-star hero pull and I was like, all right, y'all got another 5 or 6 hours out of me. I'm in.
Why do you lose your interest though? Like what makes you...
I'm not joking when I say I played it all weekend. Like I'm at the point now where I'm not getting any like in-game currency for completing levels the first time. And that's the problem with games like this is I'll oftentimes play them until I've completed like the introductory part where they're just giving you freebies left and right. And then I either have to spend money or I have to do, crazy stuff that requires a lot of grinding to earn, additional in-game currency. And at that point I'm like, yeah, I haven't gotten a good pull in a couple of days. I think I'm done. So I was getting real close already.
Well,
so we'll see.
I'll tell you right now, the problem you're going to run into with this game is that they've staggered the marketplace. So if you go and you do spend like 1,500 of those stones and you don't get a 5-star character or 4 or 5-star character from your purchase, it adds to the chances of you getting it on the next one. So like it stacks your chances until you actually do get one, and then it'll reset your odds to like the standard like default. So like if you didn't get a 5-star, like if you did get a 4 or 5-star now, your average is going to be basically like they're just their stock average for getting a special character. But as you go through and don't get those, your chances of getting them are going to be higher. So I wouldn't use that as too much of a baseline. I would just bail when you get tired of...
I think that's what's going to happen too. Yeah. That's the same thing that happened with Fire Emblem Heroes. I played that game to death and then I just dropped it. I did the same thing with I keep saying Bravely Default. It's not Bravely Default. Battle Frontier. I played that game for years. It was like my go-to mobile game. And then one day I was just like, you know what? I think I'm done. I think I'm good. And the plot in this game really isn't doing it for me either. I mean, I'm assuming it's the same for
all
you.
that stuff.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I'm curious, Shannon. How long did you make it before you started skipping chapters? Because you're not in that plot, are you?
No, like I mean, I know what's going on because like when you hit the skip button, it gives you the cliff notes. So
yeah,
like,
it's a nice
touch. Have to go through everything. Yeah. So I think I made it through the first chapter before I was just like, this is bullshit. I need to get on with.
Oh wow. Stuff. Okay, I made it a little bit longer than that, but yeah, it's a pretty generic plot, so I started skipping it. I had a feeling it was the same all the way around. Yeah.
What chapter are you in?
6 or 7.
Damn, you're hella far ahead of me.
Dude, I am not joking.
I just got into 5.
This has been my drug of choice for the last couple of days, and it will continue to be until the inevitable happens. It happens with all mobile games for me.
Elaine is like, I've been sitting here trying to tell y'all, like I've been playing it.
I told you. Yeah, we'll see if seriously though, guys, ask me next week if I'm playing it because I'm genuinely curious if it's going to be in my roster this time next week.
Yeah. So you've been playing that NES Switch jazz as well, haven't you, Elena?
Yeah, a little bit of the online, and I'm feeling pretty salty. I'm not gonna lie. Anybody out there who's purchased an NES Classic, let me just formally apologize to you on behalf of Nintendo, because I checked some of those games, and let's see, Ice Climber, Excite Bike, Mario Brothers. We got, what was it, Tecmo Bowl, Ghosts and Goblins, Dr. Mario. I could just go on. Those games are on NES Online and on the NES Classic. So that little mini console you purchased just a few short months, maybe years or whatever, like you can get it now. Just for having online. So sorry, that's really ridiculous.
There are some better games on the actual Classic though. Like they have the Castlevanias on there and the Mega Mans and stuff like that. But that stuff will probably eventually come to this.
Yeah.
They're adding games every month.
They had Star Fox 2.
Yeah. Well, no,
that's the Super Nintendo one.
Yeah, that's the SNES. So the SNES is coming, and I'm gonna have FOMO real soon because I was fortunate enough to get an SNES Classic for my birthday, but that's coming online, I'd say within the next 6 months to a year. But you're absolutely right, Josh. They got, I think it was Zelda 2 and Double Dragon 2 and Castlevania 2. All the 2s are notably missing from NES Online. And I really
how do you put Double Dragon 1 on there, not 2? Double Dragon 1 sucks.
Double
Dragon 2 was the good one.
Dude, I played Double Dragon 1 today. It's actually really fun. The sprites are really funny because I noticed when you get punched in the face, your face like goes inwards, like and it stays inwards. It's like it's like you poke the balloon and it's still, your fingers still kind of, it's really actually fun because I've mentioned this on previous episodes. I played Double Dragon Neon like quite a bit when I was younger, and I was really into that game, but I had never played Double Dragon or Double Dragon 2. So now experiencing this, I'm like, oh, now I see why they based the purple-haired lady with the whip off like, oh, this sprite's this sprite, or oh, this is this. And
doesn't Neon still start out the same way too, where they like sucker punch the chick in the gut and carry her away?
Yeah, total trope status, definitely. So that was, the game itself is pretty fun, but I like that it still has that old timey game, like just the subtle little stuff, the little mess ups. Like, for example, I was playing Double Dragon and I went to the next, part of the map because it's a side scroller, and the screen hadn't loaded up yet, but the enemies had. So by the time everything was like up and running, the CPUs had already basically shit whipped my ass to the ground. And I was like, wait a minute, but I wasn't dude, it was too much. I thought that was so funny. Did you
get ganged up on by some Abobos or whatever their names are?
What ended up happening was I was on the ground by the time the screen loaded, and I was like, this isn't fair. This isn't, what the hell? I can't believe people used to do this. Like, it's totally different, man.
Was that the name of those like big muscular guys, Abobos or Abubus or something?
Abobo.
Abobo.
Yeah.
That just makes me want chicken adobo, man. That's just making me hungry.
That's the thing I always think about when I think about the original Double Dragon, is the level where they bust through like the wall, like in the mountainy kind of like outdoor area. They get the Abobos come after you.
So
the pink pants and the blue pants.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. And that's how you tell them apart.
Shannon, your jam Super Dodgeball is hitting that this month.
Yeah.
I love that game, dude. I'll play that game forever. I don't care. It's just...
Hey, Shannon, we got to get some Tecmo Bowl on though, for real.
No, because you're just gonna play Bo Jackson and run my.
No. Okay. I have base rules for Tecmo Bowl. No one can be LA and no one can be San Francisco. That's the rules.
All right.
Those are the two rules.
Yeah, because there's the unstoppable Bo Jackson play, and then there's the unstoppable Jerry Rice throw, and you just it makes it not fun.
That game's still fun today. Like Tecmo Bowl aged rather well. I was surprised. So
and that's kind of circling back around to what I was saying about the PlayStation Mini or Classic or whatever they're calling it. It's just like these games like look pretty good. I was playing tennis for the SN or for the NES, and it was fun. It was simple, but I like the way the ball came up, and I knew where it was based on the shadow on the ground. And there's just that subtlety there that kind of makes these games age like wine as per compared to like aging like milk. It's not. I have my feelings about it, but for the whole they didn't
aging like a PS1 classic.
That I do not want to do. Okay, I want to age like an SNES game. Okay, I want to.
Speaking of aging like milk, that fucking wrestling game that you recommended, Zach, is
Pro Wrestling Rules.
That game is poop, man. Okay. I played that game for like 2 minutes. I'm like, fuck this. Where's Mario?
To be fair, I wear big, thick Coke bottle nostalgia glasses for that game. Like,
They had a big thick Coke. Man, God, that game was not fun.
Everybody's got a game, man. I knew it. Even Zach has one. At least
Starman rules. Yeah, I won't talk bad about pro wrestling. I will not say a bad word about pro wrestling. Starman per Vita.
All right. Well, okay. Well, we'll just move on then. All right.
That being said, I completely get it. I totally know what
I have no positive thing to say about that game. I'm sorry. I think that's actually the first time I've ever played it is on the NES Classics app, and I was like, nah, dude, I ain't feeling this at all. I was expecting a shitty looking fun version of like WrestleMania the arcade game or something.
No, it's way too early for that. Yeah, like Yes, I would think the WrestleMania arcade game was 5 or 6 years after that one.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah, it was on the building blocks. It was built on the shoulders of games like pro wrestling. But yeah, pro wrestling is definitely not.
I still wish they made really fun arcade wrestling games. Like,
do you remember the Saturday Night Main Event / Royal Rumble arcade game?
Yes.
That had like Big Boss Man and Earthquake and Hulk Hogan,
Clown, and all that shit.
Yeah. Where is that game? I mean, I'm sure it's licensing hell just because of all the characters they had. But I want that game. I loved that game.
You know what they should do is get up on that. The arcade 1-up thing and release a cabinet for that.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, I'm writing a check.
Put 3 or 4 old classic arcade wrestling games on it. Ooh, that would be awesome.
Oh, I want that so bad. Big Boss Man, he does like the side slam. Just yeah.
Yep. Those were great games. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this bad boy up and do our weekend review. Zach, since you were here last week, man, I'll let you have the floor. What you got going on, man?
Well, I saw a very exciting football game on Sunday, live and in person, when my Oakland Raiders beat Elena's Cleveland Browns.
I don't want to talk to you.
You mean the Vegas Raiders?
Well, they can't sell Vegas Raider gear until next year when they move.
I heard there were some discrepancies, though. I heard there was a long call where the Browns actually should have won, and the
you mean
the Browns should have won something?
You mean also when they stopped Marshawn from running forward when he had nothing but green space in front of him? When like, oh, the play's dead, and it's like, I didn't stop. I never stopped. No, you stopped. No. So anyway, but anyway, it was actually a highly entertaining game. They won 45-42 in overtime. That was ridiculous. It was one of those games where everyone was scoring every 5 minutes, and so actually it was kind of fun in that regard, but it was
for you.
Hey, Baker Mayfield is like your guys' new hope, dude. Like, I mean, like he's good. Like,
and watching him in person, that guy's the truth. Like, Baker Mayfield has it. Like, whatever it is for winning, like he's got it. Like, that guy's really good.
Good, we need it.
Yeah. But outside of that, it was a really fun day. But then, yeah, man, like got myself a new car finally from the accident.
What'd you get with?
Hey.
We went the Honda Pilot.
Oh, yeah, those are pretty cool.
What color is it? Neon green?
It is fuchsia, and no, it's just the steel gray. But we drove freaking every goddamn car, like just tried to find the right one, and that was the one that checked the most boxes, so we went with that one.
Nice.
Sweet. It's always fun having a new car, man.
Yeah.
Have all those cars around, man. Oh, good.
I was going to say, it's just got the DVD player in the back. Jonathan gets to watch Lego Batman as he rides around. Life's good.
Oh, that's rad.
So do those cars have Blu-ray players now, or is it
they
DVD?
They do have Blu-ray players, yeah.
Wow. Zach, you were missing last week, but I was telling the story about how I just found out my car has CarPlay in it, and I didn't even know.
You know what? So does mine, and I hate it.
Really? I like the GPS functionality on it a lot.
That part is fine, but like I stream music all the time in my car, and you either do that or I listen to Sirius XM, and
yeah, I have that too.
If I have the satellite radio on and anything happens on my phone, it cuts off the radio and goes to CarPlay.
Oh.
And it's like I can't figure out how to turn that off. So
you don't want to auto load CarPlay, you mean?
No, like or CarPlay is fine, but if I have the radio on, don't take over the whole system when like I get a text message.
It does
For
do
real?
that. Yeah.
Like
No,
that.
no, it doesn't do that. Like if I'm not actively using CarPlay, like because mine has
Uh-huh.
tabs, and there's a CarPlay tab. If I'm not in that CarPlay tab, it will not do dick unless I tap on it.
So that sounds like a way better interface than mine.
Yeah, the Jeeps have this thing called Uconnect.
Mhm.
But the thing is though, like if you as soon as you plug your phone in, like boom, it kicks in and it takes over, and you have to switch back to the radio. But other than that, I really like it. I did have a problem with like the GPS where like because what they do is they separate like the GPS voice in one speaker, like to the left by the driver, and then the music is playing on the right when it starts to talk, and then it switches back to the music in both speakers. And like the left speaker was super quiet. And I could not figure out how to raise the volume on. I couldn't hear the GPS. And then I found out that if you turn the volume knob while it's speaking, then it'll raise the volume up, but there's no way of knowing that unless you just start fucking with it while it's talking. So if your car does that, if the GPS is too low, start raising the knob while it's talking to you, and it'll raise the volume on it.
That's really weird.
Yeah, I was looking on my phone for like an option to change that. Like I wanted to do both speakers. I liked how I just pushed the music in the background, and it just pushed it has the GPS voice like in front, and it kind of fades the music into the back. Like I like that, but it doesn't do that. I can't find a way to make it do that unless I play it through Bluetooth.
Gotcha. Yeah, but new cars are rad, and yeah, life's good, man. Just moving forward.
Awesome. I'm excited for Halloween, man. Like, is this? I'm curious about Zach and Shannon with this because is it just me or is Halloween got extremely more awesome when you have kids?
Oh, way more.
Like I liked Halloween when I was a kid. You dress up, get free candy, whatever. But I was never like I was always bigger on Christmas. Like that was always my favorite holiday. And then when you get older, you start going to Halloween parties, you dress up and get drunk and whatever, and that's all fun and dandy. But I haven't done that in years. But when you have a kid, man, just as excited as your kid gets during Halloween about picking out their costume and you going out in the street with them and going and watching them go nuts and like get all this candy and people like, react to their costumes and everything. Like it's so much fun. And now I'm like all in full into the Halloween spirit just for that alone.
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. Like last year, our son, his room, we did it all up in Monsters Incorporated. It's all Disney themed. And I was at Babies R Us, and I saw they had like I know
right.
They had like a full on like Sully costume for babies. That was just like the full like Sully costume. And like I put him in it, and it was the most hilarious thing. Like I still laugh like looking at those pictures. And this year, my wife got the bug, and she got super excited. So this year she went out and bought his costume, and she's like looking forward to it hardcore. But the one thing that sucks is like around my neighborhood, like everybody's like super dumb. Like they don't put out candy. They're not good sports. Like, and the people that do have kids on our street, they actually leave and go to other places to do the trick-or-treating because they know our neighborhood sucks so much. So, I mean, it's just kind of a bummer.
Well, I do have to say, I think that's like a becoming a new thing. Like in where our neighborhood's okay, but around here, everyone goes to like 5 or 6 streets. And they almost turn into like block parties.
That's how it is at mine. That's exactly how it is at mine. Now, I grew up in the country, so we always had to travel to like a suburb or something in order to trick or treat. But our neighborhood's not bad. But yeah, there's a certain amount of streets that get hit hardcore, and then the other ones are just completely ignored.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting to me because I was not that way when I was a kid. It just wasn't,
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't remember it being that way either. But
yeah, it's funny, man, because you're right. It's like when you're a kid, Halloween kind of rules, and then you like turn 12, and Halloween totally sucks until you turn about 20, and then Halloween just becomes like sex and drunken debauchery for 10 years.
Yep.
And then Halloween sucks again because you're too old for that shit. And then you have a kid, and all of a sudden it rules. You're like, yeah, this is super fun. It's funny how it just goes in waves like that. It's like,
I don't know. And this year they got some legit candies. Like, I mean, like they have some like glow in the dark Reese's peanut butter cups that they've released for like,
oh, that's rad.
Yeah, and then they got some other candies that are out there, like I guess the candy corn brand is like ditching that shitty flavor that they've been going with for the past century.
Candy corn?
Yeah, and
I like candy corn.
Shitty flavor of candy corn.
I like
of themselves.
I love candy corn. That's the great thing about candy corn, because as soon as Halloween's over, you get that shit for like 10 cents a bag.
I know, because nobody wants that shit.
No,
nobody wants the shit.
Take that shit out of the store, bro. They will pay you to take that stuff.
Yep. And I eat it up, man. I love it.
Yeah, I think they're actually changing it this year to like they have another flavor of like watermelon, so they look like watermelon seeds instead of
I'm okay with that.
candy corn.
They have a new flavor of edible.
Yeah.
Edible flavored.
Yeah, not shit. But yeah.
Have you seen the Cadbury Scream eggs?
Oh no, dude! I was gonna say my wife is gonna be all over those. Like,
weren't those banned in the States until recently? It wasn't the Cadbury cream, it was the Kinder eggs, right? I've been seeing those in stores recently. Yeah, they brought those back. I guess they trust the kids enough to not put because there's a surprise inside, right? It's usually like a little toy like dinosaur or something cutesy. So when I saw that in stores, I was like, hey, there's hope for us. What's up?
Yeah. I remember one year we dressed my kid up like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Oh, beautiful.
He hated the hat and he'd scream every time we put it on him. But now he's like, my wife, when they were on vacation, like she took him to some pirate attraction thing by the beach. And he is all about pirates now. And she bought him a little pirate costume, and he runs around the house in it all the time.
Nice.
Now he wants to be a pirate for Halloween, which is a very easy Halloween costume. So now like I'm looking at like adult pirate outfits so I can like be a pirate with them. So we can run around the neighborhood like "Arr" and shit, So like, and like I was never like that before. I never cared about Halloween, I was like, whatever, other than that stage in life when you're like, going and getting drunk at parties and shit. But but now like I want to dress up with my kid, even though I'm not fucking trick or treating, just because my kid is into it. He thinks it's fun that dad's dressed up like a pirate with him and shit, and that's all cool. So I'm really excited about Halloween this year. It's gonna be fun.
That's how you make the best memories too. Like some of my fondest memories were going trick-or-treating with my dad. Like they just stick with you, because like they're in costume and you're in costume, and it's just like it's always the best, man. And then you share your candy, because why not? And also you have to, because
you're
taking some of his candy, right? Like you got it, right?
Yeah, there's something wrong with this one, son. You can't have it. Yeah.
No, last year was the first Halloween in our new house, so I wanted to be that cool dude on the street. So I went out and made like trick or treat boxes for like all the kids in the neighborhood.
Aww.
And
that's cool.
But I didn't know, like I inadvertently created like the most like awkward situation for all of my neighbors, because they were just like panicking because they didn't get my kid anything. And I was just like, no, like it's not about getting people stuff. It's just, I just wanted to say like, hey, we're here. Like,
we're not creepy.
Kind of like a welcome to the neighborhood kind of thing. Like here, we're like cool people, right? Like here's some like cool stuff for your kids. And then Christmas came around, and like they were all just like, here's a blanket for your kid. Merry Christmas. I was just like, well, I didn't get you guys anything for Christmas. So now we have this like awkward tete-a-tete where like I get your weird Halloween stuff that who knows if your kid likes or not, and you give me blankets that like,
that you definitely don't like, but whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I like the holiday season. Like I go into it like super excited. And like especially now that the kid's there, like just to see him experience all that stuff is 10 times better than any present I get. So
it's like doing it all over again, but like a different version. It's like New Game Plus.
Yeah.
That's a good way to explain it. Yeah. Absolutely. All right, Elena, what do you got going on this week?
I didn't do any type of Halloween stuff. I'm definitely at that 20s age where I'm mostly just drinking and messing around. But I did do some laser tag. I think it was just a couple of days ago on Sunday. And
your girl, long time since I've done that.
Your girl ain't good at laser tag, y'all. I think I went once before when I was like 19, and the exact same thing happened twice. I came in second to last. I ran into people because I got too excited and overzealous, and I just, I didn't do super hot. So the good thing about it this time is most of the people I was playing with were, they definitely seemed like they had been there a couple of times. So when I got my ass handed to me, it didn't hurt as much. Because the first time I went when I was 19, man, it was a group of like 6 or 7 kids who couldn't have been older than 12. And I just got destroyed. And I was like, you know what, man, Call of Duty's really big this year. And I just said, maybe that's why. Okay, all right, like it's fine. So I always guilt trip myself afterwards too. I was like, Elena, you're better than this. Let's do it again. So round 2, I came in 7th out of 14, and I was like, I'm gonna run with this all the way home. And like, I just called in the night after that. It was fun too, because being with a group of your friends, and most of my friends are again in their late 20s and early 30s, and then being surrounded by children, it's like you make your own expectations for yourself to a certain extent. I remember telling my boss that I was going to laser tag, and he like scoffed and like kind of looked at me sideways, and I was like, dude, I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. Like, I do not, this is like the iPhone thing. I do not need your permission to do something cool that's going to make me happy, that's going to be fun. You know what I mean? Like, don't guilt trip me. I'm too old to be guilt tripped.
Laser tag's rad, man. I know people are adults and shit that still play laser tag.
For real.
Dude,
like,
that was my jam when I was younger, dude. I would be at QZAR like nobody's business.
It's fun, man. It's fun too, because like my favorite part was that I did so poorly the first time, and I did so much better the second time. Like I was using, because it's embarrassing to admit, but I was walking around on like the first floor for like 10 minutes before I realized you could go upstairs and like shoot down and shit, and it was just too funny. So the second time we were all grouped up, and my group of friends were like, all right, everybody, let's stick together. Everybody else is sticking together. They know what they're doing. Elena, stay with us. And I was like, you got it, guys. 5 minutes and I'm gone. They're like, Elena. And I'm like, shots fired. Just messing around and stuff.
Down.
Yeah. come res me, guys, res me.
Fortnite.
Where's the Phoenix down? I need a Phoenix down. Give me a potion. Yeah. Come on, hurry. No, but besides that was mostly it. We got sushi afterwards, and like, it was cool. It was cool. I like living in the Bay because you can go to one part of town and you can always try a new restaurant. That's one thing I really enjoy about living here. And the cost of living is insanely high. But if I ever move anywhere else, I'll always miss that. Like the ability to just, we're in a plaza. Oh, let's try that new place. Or, oh, let's go here. I've never been here before. So that's always really appealing. And it's almost always good too. That's another thing. So
the culture is like super exciting down there for sure.
Yeah, man. I've put some thought into leaving the Bay Area just because of the price, and I really don't want to. And the culture and the food and the people, man, it's too good. It's just too good. And my basis for comparison is Ohio. So you know what it's like, man. Like I like Cali a lot.
Yeah, that's why I always said, like, every time I'm in California, it feels like life's more exciting down there. Then I get back to Ohio, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm in Ohio again. So,
Ohio's the place you go to, like, write a really dope novel. That's what you do. You just, like, kick it in the woods for a couple of months and come
start
out
wearing
with, like,
turtleneck sweaters and writing novels and shit.
Your corn cob pipe and all that.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. That's
all right, Shannon, wrap us up, man. What do you got going on? Shannon, did we lose him?
He's a pixel. He's a frozen little pixel.
He's got this facial expression right now.
I thought he was just super thinking.
Movement. We got movement.
Are you out there? Shannon.
Oh, he's got the.
He's thinking real hard.
He's deep in thought. Hey, we hear you now. Are you okay? You okay?
He's back.
How'd your week go, bro?
It's like, dude, please hold together.
Oh no! No!
Dude, he should turn his webcam off just to see if that'd work.
Is it I wonder if it's a bandwidth thing or if it's
it looks like it sometimes, Like sometimes I see it coming in hella choppy.
Yeah.
Oh, our poor baby.
Well,
turn off the porn torrents.
My mom. I can do what I want.
Can't tell me what to fucking do.
You can't tell me what to fuck.
Do.
Nah, he gone.
Yep.
We almost made it too.
Yep. Almost flawless.
Almost flawless.
He said, well, at least I made it through the episode. Okay, wrap us up. He's gone.
Okay. All right, guys. We'll go ahead and get out of here then. Unfortunately, Shannon dropped off at the very end because of his poopy Mac. But hopefully he'll get that replaced and we'll stop having these issues. So anyways, just to close this out here, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at @ThatPixelLife if you guys want show updates and tweets from us and all that jazz. And don't forget to join that Facebook group as well. You can find it on our website, or you can just search That Pixel Life on Facebook. Definitely jump into that Halloween challenge with us. We're looking forward to that. Also, if you guys have a free minute, if you could drop us some iTunes reviews, I would greatly appreciate it. We would all greatly appreciate it. I know not everyone uses iTunes, and that's perfectly fine, but that really does help us climb the ranks. So if you guys have a minute, and even if you don't say anything nice, like just say something, give us some feedback. We would love to have it. So do that if you can, please. Greatly appreciated. Otherwise, that'll be it from us this week. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. And Shannon is out, so I can't say this to him. But Zach, thank you for joining us once again, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Yes, and you too, Elena.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Everyone have an awesome weekend, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.